Although Joker does not have a traditional narrative structure, there are a few scenes of exposition, the first of which comes in the form of Arthur in a meeting with his disconnected therapist as Gotham City is established, with comments about the issues of class division, healthcare jeopardy, and Arthur's mental state and needs, which catapults the themes of the story. The rising action of the story comes in the form of Arthur's manipulative and conniving co-worker, Randall, who knowingly gives Arthur, who's mentally ill and off-putting to the majority of those around him, his pistol, telling him that he needs to defend himself and that it's a crazy world out there. This sets Arthur up with the tools he needs when he takes action to spiral down into madness and violence. When Randall sets Arthur up to get fired by lying to their boss about how he gained possession of a gun, he takes a depressed subway ride while still in his clown makeup from work. He's in the company of a quiet woman and 3 obnoxious rich kids who harass the woman and hint at rape. Because of Arthur's disorder, he breaks into nervous laughter which he cannot control. The boys turn their attention to a hysterical Arthur, who understandably pleads excuse by pulling out one of his cards stating his disorder to help him diffuse uncomfortable situations. The boys make the grave mistake of ignoring him and beating him while he's on the ground. Arthur then shoots 2 of them in self-defense. The remaining kid runs in panic to escape, which incites a cat-and-mouse chase between him and the shocked yet focused Arthur, who executes him in cold blood. This revelation of violence was the first step of Arthur transforming into the monster that he was meant to be. Arthur has a huge obsession with TV personality Murray Franklin, played by Robert De Niro. He often fantasizes about being a guest on his show. After bombing hard at a stand-up set and the hospitalization of his mother, Arthur watches Franklin play a clip of him on his show, making fun of his weak jokes and awkward laugh. This might be classified best as the compounding conflict/alternation of the film, because Arthur begins to hate his hero Murray Franklin, and more symbolically, his perception on society. Because this movie is so dark and unconventional compared to mainstream film, there is a lack of downtime for comic relief. Tension holds throughout the film, even in quiet moments, and the smallest moments of dark humor are placed in some of the most intense scenes and don't really ask for a ha-ha reaction. Arthur is interrupted during his dance montage on the steps of his neighborhood and is chased down by a pair of cops. In the midst of the pursuit, Arthur goes down towards the subway where a riot is occurring. This chaos was inspired by Arthur himself after his murder of the college kids turns the clown into a vigilante symbol. Arthur, who has fully transformed into the colored suit and green hair associated with the villain, blends into the crowd by stealing a mask. He then accidentally starts a scuffle, which leads to the 2 officers getting beat to a bloody pulp, giving Arthur his chance to escape. Arthur's dream of being a guest on Murray Franklin's show has finally come true. He comes in with a grand entrance, but soon shows his insecurity when mocked by Murray. Arthur is then questioned as to why he wore clown makeup on the show, which he replies that he's not aware of why it's controversial. Murray tells Arthur the severity of the vigilantism, where Arthur agrees to the uprising of the lower class as he's been a victim of the corrupted system his whole life. He then comes out of his demented shell and accepts his role as the mysterious killer and anti-symbol of the struggling city. He then proceeds to murder Murray Franklin live on television. This is the obligatory moment of the film due to Arthur fully transforming into the eccentric dark prince of crime that unraveled from his submissive cocoon. Several scenes back, Arthur received a phone call from one of Murray Franklin's assistants letting him know that they wanted Arthur on the show following the embarrassing clip. This is the Deus Ex Machina moment because Arthur's confidence has been boosted for him to fulfill his dream of appearing on the show and inevitably killing his former hero. After the television execution, Arthur is in the backseat of a police car, flying through a burning Gotham. As Arthur marvels in the anarchy, the car is hit and flips. A bloody Arthur is pulled out by a masked supporter, who then helps him out on top of the wreckage. Arthur turns to check his wounds, then proceeds to wipe the blood from his mouth, creating his iconic red grin to a crowd of rioters, turning Arthur into the hero that Gotham didn't know they needed, but found that they wanted. After the crash, Arthur is shown laughing in a confined room in what's presumed to be Arkham Asylum. His new therapist asks him why he's laughing. A cutaway is shown to a young Bruce Wayne mourning the death of his parents, which was recreated from Batman's origins. This symbolizes the irony of how Thomas Wayne possibly robbed Arthur of a loving and wealthy home, and his possible half-brother being robbed of his father due to Arthur's involuntary inspiration. He then tells the therapist, "You wouldn't get it."